So I've been thinking a lot about this idea, which it's a very powerful idea, and it does seem irrefutable when it's argued effectively. And that idea is that the brain creates consciousness. The brain creates uh, who I am as a person. That's true. I can't refute that. The personality is a product of the brain, and when the brain stops metabolizing glucose, stops receiving oxygen, the person ceases to exist. And so consciousness is what the brain does, at least personal consciousness. What is a person? What is this consciousness? Well, it's the mask that sound passes through. The body that exhibits a personality. And once that process of the brain's function is finished, then the person is finished. But right now, I'm still alive. My brain is receiving plenty of oxygen. And I'm a person. But I'm aware of something impersonal. And that is that, I was born. And I'm going to die. And so that puts my personal consciousness in a whole other context. I'm not just a person. Whatever the person part of me is, or the person part of awareness, I can't even call it mine, that's temporary. The person is temporary. The person is born and the person dies. But the impersonal, that which is beyond my own birth, beyond my own death, that's not temporary. That is eternal. That has always existed and will always exist. And so it puts us in a funny place. And, I don't think we need to get into abstractions about this, trying to define the objective truth of what's going on. I'm not really trying to come up with a description of what's going on. I'm trying to think out loud about where we are and who we are and what this is. Because, to figure out who I am on the personal level is hard enough without having to consider what I am on the impersonal level. I can ask, who am I? What kind of career do I want? What kind of clothes am I going to wear? What kind of words am I going to use? What is my personality going to be? I can choose it. I can be whoever I want to be, and I'm aware and conscious of how those various decisions on my part are going to be received by others, and how they're going to react. And I have to make these decisions about my personality. But I have to make those decisions in the context of this totally impersonal thing, which doesn't matter what I choose or what I want it to be. It is what it is. It is nature. It is existence. It is reality. And, I don't even know if I can know what reality is. But even if I can't know what it is, it obviously exists. There are multiple consciousnesses, and it may be true that each one of us cannot step outside of our personalities to objectively observe the impersonal truth, but nonetheless, it exists. It has to exist. Logically, it must exist. If there are all of us and something we share in common, whatever we share in common, even if we individuals can't know it, it must exist. It's there. And so that in itself says something about what it must be. It is nothing that I, as a person, as an individual consciousness stuck between birth and death, can know. But there was a time before this consciousness, before I was born, and there will be a time after I am dead. So it's not that, I can't say I don't know. It's not that I don't know, but it is that I don't know. But it's not that whatever is before and after me doesn't know, or what is me right now. It's not like just because my personal perspective makes me feel separate, makes me feel like I'm in control of a body, that I actually am, and yet somehow it feels that way. And we really, really convince ourselves that it is that way. Or sometimes we wonder if maybe it's not. And as soon as we open the door to that possibility, it really, when you go into your mind that deeply, it seems like there's no coming out. You sort of have to keep going until you puncture all the way through. You can't reverse. Once you've jumped in, you have to swim across. And you don't realize you're making that commitment until after it's already too late. You're halfway across the river and you just want to go back and pretend like it never happened, but you're already jumped in, you're already swam halfway across. It's gonna get scarier, but you have to keep going, because otherwise you're just gonna die trying to make it back. And I don't know what's on the other shore. I can't know what's on the other shore. But I gotta keep going. I can't turn back. It's too late for that.